gonna try this in my best French that I can. Bienvenue à Paris! In today's video, we are exploring Paris for 5 days, so if you want a little Parisian inspo for your trip, just keep watching.
There, 13-minute walk.
Yes, you have to get on this bus, and we get to the metro there. It tells you exactly what to do. The phone will also tell you. On this trip to Paris, we decided to stay in Montmartre, which is a great centrally located neighborhood in Paris to get to everything you want to see super easily.
Oh, hey guys, I'm in Paris. So we're getting excited. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Jessica. So this is the last part of me and my husband's little European venture. 2002, it's the first time we've been overseas since before COVID, and it has been so much fun so far. We were just on a Mediterranean cruise with Virgin Voyages. Today we got into port in Barcelona, jumped on a plane, and we are in Paris. We just checked into our little hotel here, and it is in the cutest area. We're just chilling at this little park that's right across the street. It's so idyllic and adorable. So if you're looking for a relatively affordable place to stay, I'm gonna pop into our hotel, show you around a little bit, and then let's get this little Parisian adventure started, shall we?
The Little Palace Hotel is located in Le Marais, and it is literally 2 minutes walk to the nearest metro station, perfectly convenient to get around.
So when you walk in, it's really, really cute in here. Typical, really small little Parisian elevator. You gotta love it. Barely fit me and Nate in our luggage earlier. It was hilarious.
Very cute and cozy little room here. Probably not the fanciest Parisian hotel room tour you're going to see on YouTube, but it was a really good size considering it's in Paris, and it really got the job done. We liked it. After getting unpacked and settled, we ventured out into our neighborhood for some food because we hadn't eaten since early that morning in the Barcelona airport. After a bit of walking around, we popped into Mabrouk, a Tunisian restaurant. Can't say I've ever had Tunisian cuisine, but this place was delicious, and if you're looking for something healthy and vegetarian friendly, it's a great spot.
C'est comme ça.
I'd have to admit, I was not prepared for how cold it is here. I packed my entire suitcase thinking about my cruise and just kind of assumed that Paris would be nice weather. It's gonna be kind of chilly the next couple days. I went to check out the Westfield Mall over here, which I think is crazy because we have Westfields in LA as well, but hoping to find some sweaters or a jacket, something a little bit warmer. Maybe I could supplement my wardrobe for some of the chillier nights. Popped into Montmartre, which I just discovered is kind of like their Target. It's a big like supermarket. They have a bunch of groceries. They also have like cute, affordable clothing and houseware stuff. If you're here visiting and you want like a place to grab some stuff to stock up, maybe your Airbnb or your hotel room, Montmartre is a great place to pop into.
After unsuccessfully finding sweaters to add to my wardrobe, I decided to pop into this beautiful church to check it out, and they just so happened to be finishing up Mass at the time, so I was treated to this incredible organ music. That was breathtaking. I kind of walked in at the end of the Mass. The organ playing was just unbelievable. There are no words for like the sound that it makes in that church. So powerful and beautiful. So definitely try to check this church out if you're in Paris. It's right next to this really fun park, and it was absolutely just stunning. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the style of Notre Dame a bit, but obviously smaller, not as well known, but really, really cool to check out. I better go back to the hotel and drop off these groceries and meet back up with Nate. Hopefully he got a nap in. Morning. It is our first full day here in Paris. I feel like I look so tired. I think I mentioned before we just came straight away from a week-long Mediterranean cruise. Oh, we went hard last week. So I'm just trying to pull myself together to enjoy these
4 days that we have in Paris. Just finally getting ourselves together. We've been doing a bit of research this morning on booking like tickets to the Louvre and going to Versailles. You kind of know what we're doing, but also when you're in Paris, you kind of want to give yourself some time to just wander around and get lost, and trying to find the balance between those two things, because when I travel, I always want to try to like fit in as much as I possibly can. And we're gonna go get some coffee and some food. The plan is to head to the Paris flea market, which is only open on Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. I've been many years ago, but I'm excited to go check it out again because you can find just unique little things there. No, this is not it. Not even close to being it. This is kind of like the Sainte-Chapelle here.
Okay, Sainte-Chapelle is an LA reference, but the area you have to walk through to get to the flea market is sort of like the Canal Street of Paris. You'll find a lot of people selling cheap clothing and bad designer knockoffs.
Big Prada jacket. All right, we finally found it. All the blue ones are like antiques. I definitely want to go check out the fashion stuff, which is all kind of on that straight line.
This flea market, located in the north of Paris, is the largest antiques and secondhand market in the world and the fourth most visited attraction in France.
Like the anthropology mirror that everybody wants. So pretty. Take a guess, how much?
3,200.
Oh, it's cheaper than that actually. 2,500.
You could spend a whole day here and still not truly get to see everything. Whether you've got some serious money to spend on beautiful antiques and art, or you're just looking for some random odds and ends, you'll find all that and everything in between. I would recommend coming with cash, but there are a couple ATMs located in the market. If you're a vintage fashion lover like me, you can find some seriously good finds.
Like died and gone to designer vintage heaven in here. The Chanel dress is 500 something euros, so yeah, it's actually a pretty good deal. It's not bad for Chanel. Oh, and it's stunning. So bad. I saw a lot of things that I really loved, but leaving empty-handed today. There's a lot of places not open because it's a Monday, I think. Saturdays and Sundays, I'm sure it's more busy here, but Mondays is a little bit more of a quiet day if you want to have a little bit more of a chill experience. But now off to Montmartre. Shall we, babe? Allez.
Whenever I visit Paris, I love using their metro system. It's so easy to use and so much more affordable and fast than getting around with Ubers or taxis. Montmartre is probably one of my favorite neighborhoods in Paris to visit. It's high up on this hill. You can actually take one of these little trolleys up, which I had no idea, and if you have a Metro card, you can use that to board it. We went the old-fashioned way up the stairs, and of course, Nate was not thrilled with me.
Nate's like, God damn it, more stairs.
How do you do?
Oh, did you start a workout on your watch?
Yeah.
There's moulin frites at the top of these stairs. That was a workout. We've made it to Sacré-Cœur. We climbed up all the stairs.
It's a lot.
And you're rewarded with... It's a lot, but it's worth the view that you get up here of Paris. It's really, really pretty.
Sacré-Cœur is definitely worth visiting for the amazing view and to admire this incredible Neo-Byzantine Romanesque architecture. Surprisingly, this church is fairly new, having been proposed in 1870 by the Bishop of Nantes after the defeat of France and the capture of Napoleon III at the Battle of Sedan and the Franco-Prussian War. He attributed the defeat of France to the moral decline of the country since the French Revolution, and proposed a new Parisian church dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Its location was chosen for both its visibility throughout the city as well as its association with the early Christian church. Montmartre means Hill of Martyrs, and according to tradition, it is the place where the patron saint of Paris, Saint Denis, was beheaded by the Romans. One of these days, we're gonna have to go to the top because I bet the view is amazing.
So if you go around the back of Sacré-Cœur, there's a really nice little park right here. You can get an amazing view of the back of Sacré-Cœur. And then this little street that is between the park and the church is like the ideal place for a picture of the church with no one in your picture. Seriously, there's almost no one back here. You've got some great shots. So a little tip, don't take your shot from the front, come around the back, and it will be super empty.
Montmartre is my favorite area of Paris because it still has that quaint old Parisian feel. This was once the place where artists, writers, and bohemians gathered in flamboyant, often debauched cafes and bars. The The likes of Picasso, Renoir, Dali, Van Gogh, and Degas, to just name a few, lived and worked here, and you can still see many artists on the street working here today. Every time I've come to Montmartre, I've always grabbed a bite and a glass of wine here. They serve delicious traditional French cuisine.
I dream of these mussels. They're so good.
Clearly, I highly recommend the mussels and fries. They are delicious. You get this huge vat of mussels, and the fries dipped in the broth. Oh, perfection. After spending a little time in Montmartre, we went over to the Champs-Élysées to see the Arc de Triomphe, and we're in for a little bit of a surprise. If you visit the Arc de Triomphe at 6:30 p.m., you will witness this daily ceremony for the unknown soldier to relight the undying flame that is at the base of the Arc de Triomphe. It's a really cool thing to witness, so I highly recommend if you can come to the Arc de Triomphe at this time to see it, definitely do so.
Oh, here we go. Another set of stairs in Europe. But this is a staircase Nate's happy to go up. That's where we just were. The view from up here is so good, and there was no line to get up here, which was amazing. Last time we were here, there was a really long line to buy tickets, and we literally just like walked in. So we got really lucky. It's great. You can see all around Paris, all these little cross sections of the streets, especially a great view of the Eiffel Tower, which is right there.
While the Arc de Triomphe definitely isn't the highest view you'll get of the city of Paris, it is one of my favorites because you do get a great view of the Eiffel Tower, of course, but because all the streets sort of go out from the roundabout that the Arc de Triomphe sits on, you can get a great sort of view of all these different areas, like the modern part of Paris over there that nobody really ever talks about, but it's really kind of cool to see.
Going down. Oh my god, now I'm so dizzy. Yeah, that was a lot of stairs. So when you're here, all the plaques are in French. So if you really want to know some of the history about what they're saying, I recommend downloading the Google Translate app because there's a feature in the app where you can take a picture of something in another language and it will translate it into the language that you speak. And that is a great way to be able to read some of these historical markers and get to learn a little bit more. It's also a great way to read a menu if you happen to go into a restaurant and the menu is only in French. A little tip for you guys.
After a full day of exploring, we headed back to our neighborhood and found this little Italian spot to grab dinner.
Sample your salad.
This salad looks so good.
I'm taking the stairs because calories. I'm eating a lot of bread.
You only beat me because I waited to take that picture of you. Good morning! We are headed to do something we haven't done before, which is go to Père Lachaise, which is the famous cemetery here in Paris. A lot of very notable people are buried there. Edith Piaf, Chopin, Jim Morrison. So we're gonna go walk through because it's supposed to be a pretty cool thing to go check out. It's pretty massive. We can already see it on our walk over this wall. Bizet is here. Chopin. I want to go to Oscar Wilde's. I didn't realize he was here.
With so many notable people buried here, it's no wonder that Père Lachaise is the most visited cemetery in the world.
What do you think so far?
Very cool.
There are over 1 million people buried in this cemetery, but Père Lachaise wasn't always such a popular final resting place. At the time of its opening, it was considered too far out of the city to be a desirable spot. It wasn't until the remains of Jean de La Fontaine and Molière were moved here that this cemetery became popular. I thought it was really neat to get to go and visit the grave of Chopin, one of my favorite classical artists. You can see in his grave people left notes and letters to him.
course, Jim Morrison is also famously buried here. His grave is sort of tucked back here behind a fence. I guess people used to come and hang out on his grave, and so they had to sort of fence it off. I saw a documentary about him recently, and he died in Paris, and I think that documentary said he didn't have a whole lot of money at the time he died, but he like really wanted to be buried here, like something that's very important to him. People bring potatoes to this one. I looked up why potatoes are here, and it turns out French people leave potatoes on this man's grave because he was instrumental in making the potato the staple of the French diet that it is today. So many of these different graves, like the one with the potatoes on it, had such an interesting and weird story when I looked them up. For example, the grave of Victor Noir, which you'll see he has been touched in certain places, and apparently if you do that and put flowers in his cap, you'll have enhanced fertility. It's so quiet and peaceful here. It's just amazing to look at, just like all these tombs. They're like works of art. Just absolutely incredible. Had to stop by Oscar Wilde's tomb. He is one of my favorite authors. The Picture of Dorian Gray is probably one of my favorite books. And then, of course, last but not least, Edith Piaf. And someone decided to play one of her iconic songs and pay their respects, and it was just perfect. After such a peaceful stroll through the cemetery, it was time to get back to the land of the living, because the living were hungry for lunch. We headed to the Jewish Quarter to try out the world-renowned Las du Falafel. Apparently, this is the falafel destination in Paris, if not all of Europe. At lunch, it's a pretty popular spot. The line for takeaway can be kind of long. We luckily got a table. And I say luckily because when you see this sandwich, I really just don't understand how people eat it on the go.
Now try this yet.
Oh, really good.
Spicy?
It's got a little kick, but it ain't bad.
Yum. Yeah, this is a fork situation. It's kind of crazy to see that skyline like that. No spire.
Since we were in the area, we decided to walk over and see how the reconstruction of Notre Dame was going.
They've got the whole square where Notre Dame is totally blocked off because they're doing construction, trying to restore from the big fire that happened, I believe it was a couple of years ago. So you can't even go into the square, but if you instead of just enjoying this guy's amazing violin stylings over here, and now I gotta go find Nate because he wandered off.
On the barrier walls to Notre Dame, they have all these pictures and different information about the whole process of saving Notre Dame and rebuilding the spire. It's really, really fascinating and interesting to see.
Fortunately, we got to see it last time we were here, so it's just kind of sad to see it like this. Things about. It's supposed to be go get some chocolate.
Being the foodie that Nate is, he discovered this amazing chocolate and macaron shop, so we went down the street. It was super close to our hotel, and we grabbed some sweets.
Let's go eat it.
As we stumbled out of the chocolate shop looking for a place to enjoy some wine with our chocolates, we caught sight of this bar down this alleyway in a market that was mostly closed down. Little did we know, we stumbled into this sort of secret foodie spot in the Marais that was incredible. And this spot was so fun, the staff was super cool. We even managed to make some friends with some locals who shared some of their wine with us, which was super nice.
Oh my god. Wow, that's so good.
Damn, down with some wine.
left my body, I'll never be the same again. Well, that was a really cool local spot. We're definitely gonna have to go back because it was fun. Everyone was really nice there.
Great.
But now on to the next place because it's like it's a nibbling kind of day. We're just nibbling because we've got to try all the things in Paris.
Charcuterie.
I love that in the summertime it can be like almost 10 o'clock and it's still not dark. Like right now it is 10 till 10 and this is how much light you still have left. That is one of the magical things about Paris in the summer, why I love visiting here, especially like the end of May. The weather is really nice. It's not too hot. You get like long daylight hours. We're in this really cool little bar area district of the Marais. We were here last night and it was super dead to go visit this one little place that a friend recommended called Le Père. It's open tonight and it's completely poppin'. So we're gonna go in and get some charcuterie and some wine, and just this whole area is a great area to go out in because there's tons of bars, tons of different restaurants and cafes that you can choose from. Are you gonna be able to guess that?
French? I don't even. Is it French?
It should come as no surprise that we were not successful in guessing the wine, and they also won't tell you what it is until somebody finally successfully guesses it. Definitely recommend this place. The charcuterie was great, the ambiance was really nice, and they have this great little wine shop in the front if you want to pick up a nice bottle to take with you. The next morning, we woke up bright and early to make it to our allotted time to enter the Louvre. If you're visiting Paris for the first time, this is definitely an essential place to see, and since Nate had not been here yet, we had to come pay a visit.
Right, going into the Louvre. We bought our tickets online in advance. Still gotta wait in line, but it seems like it's moving quickly. Tried to find the side secret entrance, which is supposedly less crowded. That was not successful.
We made it in.
We made it in the nick of time. Your ticket, whatever time it is, you have 30 minutes from that time to get in, and we made it literally right under the hair. So
Seriously, don't mess around with your Louvre entry time if you bought your tickets in advance. If you are late, you'll have to wait in the line with everyone else. Luckily, they have a little cafe here so you can grab breakfast.
got coffee. That's the first step. Second step, figure out a game plan because this place is huge. I have to see Mona Lisa.
The Mona Lisa.
Funny story, like 2 days ago, I guess a guy came and smeared a cake on it. So that happened. Hopefully they'll have that open.
Okay, ruin the bulletproof glass.
Right.
I think we're okay.
Alright. Let's do this.
Let's just be honest. Even if you gave yourself a whole day, 2 days, a week, you probably could not experience the fullness that is the Louvre Museum. There's just so much to see.
So many people.
It's reported that nearly 10 million people visited the Louvre in 2019, making it the most visited museum in the world. So of course, on any given day, it's going to be very crowded, but certain areas with very popular pieces will definitely be much more crowded than others.
I feel like even with the map, this place is a labyrinth. It's really easy to get lost in here, so we're just trying to find the area that we're interested in. It's taking a little bit longer. Took a little detour. Imagine back in the day when this was a palace, they would drive the carriages up to that. It's a very long hallway.
At some point, it can feel like art overload. It's just art everywhere. So I highly recommend, if you're interested in specific artists or types of art, to maybe take a guided tour. We headed into the room where the Mona Lisa is, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but the Mona Lisa is actually quite small in real life, but so many people are clamoring to see this girl, let me tell you.
This room is nuts. Literally nuts. And they have like a line where you can get closer to it, but yeah, no. I can see it from here. I've seen it before. Have you seen it, honey?
Crowded though this area may be, it's probably my favorite wing that I've experienced on my trips to the Louvre, just because all the artwork in here is so incredible to look at.
Honestly, the ceilings sometimes are a bit more interesting than what's on display. It's like amazing. Just make sure you look up when you're in these different rooms because it's just absolutely incredible.
My advice for when you go to the Louvre is to find the paintings that are on display that you're interested in seeing, mark them off on the map, and strategically go through the museum and seek out those pieces. Make sure you don't miss the Petite Gallery, which is such an incredible room here in the Louvre.
This is totally my style of interior decor. Can we use this as design inspo for our house someday?
Besides the incredible decoration of the room itself, the gallery's main attractions are the remaining pieces of the French crown jewels. In 1887, the Third French Republic sold most of the crown jewels to quell fears of a royalist coup d'etat. The only jewels that were exempted from this sale were ones of historical significance. They also have some really cool designer pieces that are sort of inspired by the Louvre on display in here, which I really liked. Usually, I'd never suggest a restaurant that's right next to a huge tourist attraction, but I'll make an exception for Cafe Marley.
Spritz o'clock. Spritz with a killer view. Just had a little rest sesh in the room to freshen up. Now we're gonna go out and try to explore some spots. Gonna go check out Sainte-Chapelle, the Eiffel Tower. Feel like a new person, right, babe?
Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah. I've basically been just using this as my selfie off of the day mirror every day because it's just so good. Is the theater where Phantom of the Opera is based on. One of my favorite musicals. Had to come check it out. It's really, really beautiful.
We didn't have time to do it on this particular day, but you can go inside the Opera House and do your own self-guided tour. It is open, I believe, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. On the way over to visit Sainte-Chapelle, we stopped by Place de la Concorde, which is the place where Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, and Robespierre were beheaded during the French Revolution. It neighbors the Tuileries Gardens, which is a lovely place to spend the afternoon with a lot less of a bloody history, I'm guessing.
Just taking a stroll through the Tuileries Garden, y'all. It's a beautiful, perfect spring day here. We're heading to Sainte-Chapelle, which is one of my favorite churches that I've ever been to. It's so stunning. Like, it doesn't get as much love as the other churches in Paris, but a must, in my opinion. So you gotta get your tickets online in advance. They're about 11 euros a person. Let's go check this out.
The Sainte-Chapelle is a royal chapel in the Gothic style within the medieval Palais de la Cité, the residence of the kings of France until the 14th century on the Ile de la Cité in the River Seine in Paris. Construction began sometime after 1238, and the chapel was finished a short and astonishing 7 years later.
It doesn't go far. It's just a little narrow.
This chapel was commissioned by King Louis IX to house his collection of Passion relics, including Christ's Crown of Thorns, which was later held in Notre Dame until the 2019 fire, which it survived. These huge, stunning stained glass windows tell the story of the Bible all the way through Christ and the coming of his crown of thorns to be held in this chapel. They have these handy guides inside that help you see the storyline through the stained glass. But this is the most extensive collection of 13th century stained glass anywhere in the world. Sainte-Chapelle is also no longer a church, as it was secularized after the French Revolution ended state religion. It's now a national monument.
It's rad.
When you consider how old this chapel is and the technology that the people at the time had to create this beauty, it really is just breathtaking. It was around this moment that I realized I had been in Paris for quite a few days and I still had not had a crepe. So we walked across the Seine to the Latin Quarter to go and find a delicious Grand Marnier crepe, which is both of our favorite flavor.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say no to a crepe, especially when it's Grand Marnier.
So doughy. The Grand Marnier one, it's just nice and like lightly sweet, but it's not like crazy like Nutella and fruit and everything over the top heavy. be able to be on that ledge. Now they have all that boarding up. I wonder why they did that.
I was about to come on here and tell you guys to come to the Trocadero to get that epic Eiffel Tower shot, but they have all this weird wooden boarding up for whatever reason, and a bunch of people have graffitied all over it. Not sure why, but I found one little spot to get my shot.
Decided to do a very Parisian thing, come out here and have a little picnic outside in the park with, of course, an amazing view. Nate has this really awesome blanket that he travels with called Rumble. It packs up into this, and it's the perfect little size blanket for just a little picnic, and it's great for when you're traveling, if you have it on the plane, keeps you a little bit more warm if you tend to get cold on flights, so that was a very good purchase, Nate.
We grabbed some wine and some food from a local Montmartre, my favorite little store, but honestly I highly recommend doing a little picnic in any park in Paris while you're here.
Macarons for dessert.
Kitchen!
One downside to this plan is there's not really many public bathrooms around here. After you drink a whole bottle of rosé, it's not good.
After we finished our little picnic dinner and our wine, we walked down to the Seine to an area that I think is one of the best places to get a shot in front of the Eiffel Tower. The intention was to be there when the Eiffel Tower lit up and started sparkling, but because it's summertime and it doesn't get dark till kind of late, it was not happening for us. But I really wanted to see this, so we hung out for one more hour.
We came down here at 9 o'clock to see the light show, but it didn't go off because it wasn't quite dark. Sorry, at 10 o'clock. So it's now 11. It's dark.
You can catch this beautiful light show on the Eiffel Tower every hour on the hour after it reaches full darkness.
So beautiful.
It's pretty.
It was worth waiting for.
Was it? Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
On day 5 of our trip, we woke up bright and early and caught the train out to Versailles to do a day trip out there. This is something neither of us had done before, and I have a whole separate vlog on this if you'd like to check it out. I'll have it linked up in the eye and down in the description box. After a day of exploring Versailles, we came back to Marché des Enfants Rouges because we wanted to come back to the restaurant we were at a couple nights before, Les Enfants du Marché, to actually try their food and come back for the good vibes, because honestly, this restaurant was so much fun the first time around, we had to come back. While the bar top, open air seating, and casual vibes might make you think this is a sort of lowbrow establishment, the delicious wine selection and avant-garde cuisine by Japanese chef Masahide Ikuda definitely gave a more fine dining experience. This dinner was a little bit more of a splurge, but man, was it worth every single bite.
So he said this is like pan-fried foie gras and the smoked eel. This is like a taste of like coffee and different things. I don't know. It just looks really good. Never tried monkfish before. Let's just try it. Good, kind of sweet.
Oh yeah, I can tell it.
Look, here's the thing. If you come to Paris and you don't have a croissant, it's basically a crime. So we came to this boulangerie, which has multiple times over won Best Baguette and Best Croissant in Paris, to try it out for breakfast while we killed time before our flight. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint.
Ooh la la. So flaky.
Fuck off.
So flaky, so buttery. Oh my god. Carbs don't count in France.
All over you.
I know. We left some for the birds. Pain au chocolat. What?
Can't say on TV.
Oh my god. So good. Alright, well, that wraps up our trip here in Paris. I'm really sad to leave. I really love coming here. It's been really sad all morning, thinking that I have to go back home now. I hope you guys enjoyed our trip. I hope it gives you some fun ideas, things that you can do while you're here. If it did, give this video a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!